want you to imagine Bitcoin it's a city in cyberspace that's 276 blocks wide, 276 blocks high, 276 blocks deep, about 21 million blocks. Now imagine all 8 billion people in the world want to live there one day. They want to put their capital there. There's $900 trillion of wealth in the world. As people migrate from every other form of property and they've assets into cyberspace, you're going to see the Bitcoin network go from a $1 trillion network to a 10x that to 100x that.
Hey guys, welcome back to Everyday Finance. In this video, Michael Saylor discusses the crypto and Bitcoin. According to Michael Saylor, Bitcoin is considered a valuable asset in the financial world. This property is truly exceptional and one of a kind in the world. MicroStrategy considers Bitcoin to be the most valuable investment asset. The ultimate goal is to accumulate more Bitcoin, as MicroStrategy believes that those who possess the highest amount will emerge as the winners. Investing in Bitcoin and holding onto it can be a wise financial decision. Bitcoin has the potential to appreciate in value over time. It's expected to appreciate and gain value at a faster rate than the S&P index and commercial real estate. It doesn't make sense to sell the winner and buy the losers. Bitcoin is the clear winner, so we'll continue to hold on to it, exploring various avenues to acquire Bitcoin, such as utilizing their cash flows, seeking equity or capital raises, or considering any other innovative methods that come to mind. Currently, an institutional investor looking to purchase Bitcoin has the option of investing in well-known ETFs such as BlackRock and Fidelity. Another company with a Bitcoin strategy similar to MicroStrategy could be considered as ETFs come to mind. These ocean-going container ships have the capacity to transport massive amounts of capital. It's possible to invest billions of dollars daily in them. BlackRock ETF has the capacity to handle massive amounts of capital without engaging in excessive trading. They may have a premium, but what they lack is strong performance and leverage. MicroStrategy stands out due to its strong capital position. Keep in mind that MicroStrategy's shares are not redeemable, potentially leading to a premium in their trading price. It's important to remember that MicroStrategy is an operating company. When their share is trading at a premium, they have the option to raise capital through convertible debt or other means. When they engage in such actions, they are doing so at a higher value than the underlying assets. Calculates an increase in value for their underlying shareholders after a debt deal where they exchange the debt for their common stock. Shareholders now have a higher amount of Bitcoin per share compared to before the deal. This presents another perspective to consider. If you're looking to pay 25 base points and have a leverage ratio of 1-to-1, purchasing the ETF would be the way to go. If you're looking to generate a return and avoid fees while taking advantage of leverage, consider investing in a stock such as MicroStrategy. You could consider us similar to a financial analyst. The strategy is air freight. They are Federal Express, and they can transport you at a faster pace. However, it's important to note that their payload capacity will always be significantly lower compared to that of a supertanker or a container ship. There is room for both of those strategies, and in fact, they complement each other quite well. Michael Saylor believes ETFs thrive thanks to companies such as MicroStrategy, while MicroStrategy reaps the rewards of the ETF's presence. And lots of things Michael Saylor discussed, so please watch the video to end. And share this video and subscribe our channel Everyday Finance. Thanks.
The highest form of property is the apex property in the world, and it's the best investment asset. So the end game is to acquire more Bitcoin. Whoever gets the most Bitcoin wins. Let's keep in mind the fundamental principle. What's the use case of Bitcoin? It's capital preservation. So if you have $1 billion and you live in South America, or you live in Asia, or you live in Africa, and you want the capital to last for 100 years, you're not going to want to buy $1 billion company or $1 billion building or $1 billion of land in any place in Africa. You're going to have to find some other form of property that you can hold for a long period of time. Let's take New York City. Developers of New York City in 1776 didn't have an end game. They've been raising capital to invest in New York City real estate at the all-time high for 300 years. If you went and talked to them today and you said, what's your end game? They would say, well, we're going to keep investing in New York City. If you've ever talked to a person that owned an apartment in New York City, no one aspires to hold the apartment for a few years, sell the apartment, and move out of New York City. They put it in their will, they give it to their children, and if you ask them why, they say there's no better place on earth to live than New York. There is no place up from there. So New York City is the end game for people that want to live in the greatest city in North America. Bitcoin is the end game for anybody that wants to own the greatest property in the 21st century. We believe that the highest, best use of capital is to buy Bitcoin and hold the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is going to appreciate in value faster than the S&P index. It's going to appreciate in value faster than commercial real estate. And so there's no point in selling the winner to buy the losers. And Bitcoin is the winner. And so we're just going to keep acquiring Bitcoin with our cash flows, with equity or capital raises, any other accretive method that comes to mind. Well, I think I'd start just with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is certainly at least digital gold. It's going to eat gold. It's got all of the great attributes of gold, and it's got none of the defects of gold. If you could teleport gold from New York to Tokyo in a few minutes, people would like it. It's going to divert capital from risk assets and risk ETFs like SPY, and you can see that these ETFs are doing that. It's going to be incorporated into a lot of funds like the BlackRock Global Opportunities Fund or the Strategic Income Opportunities Fund. And so it's an asset class. As it goes into other funds, it's going to become structural. The halving is going to cut the organic supply of natural sellers in half around April 20th. That means there's only about $32 million a day of natural sellers. And the price of Bitcoin is going to have to adjust up in order to meet that investor demand. So I think that's what's going to happen next to the asset class.
According to Michael Saylor, due to its digital nature and potential as a store of value, people often compare Bitcoin to gold. Many believe that Bitcoin has the potential to surpass gold in terms of value and popularity. Gold possesses exceptional qualities and is free from any drawbacks. Imagine being able to instantly transport gold from New York to Tokyo. In just a few minutes, people will appreciate the fact that it will redirect capital away from risky assets and ETFs. Secret agent, these ETFs are clearly gaining traction and finding their way into various funds like the BlackRock Global Opportunities Fund or the Strategic Income Opportunities Fund. The fund, akin to a financial analyst, functions as an asset class that investors can incorporate into other funds, leading to a more organized strategy. This, in turn, may impact the organic supply of natural resources. There was a significant decrease in sellers around April 20th, resulting in only about $32 million worth of natural sellers per day. We expect the growing investor demand to drive an increase in the price of Bitcoin, thereby impacting the asset class. Let's back to the Michael Saylor interview.
Yeah, so BlackRock is like the container ship or the super tanker of Bitcoin. They can take $1 billion a day into their capital structure, and they can haul that very efficiently, 25 basis points. MicroStrategy is like air freight. We got higher performance. So what's going on here? MicroStrategy's got leverage. If we borrowed $800 million at 62 basis points, is there any company in the world that you wouldn't like to invest in that could borrow $1 billion at less than 1% interest to invest in your best idea? So we get that very intelligent leverage. It's non-recourse, it's unsecured, and then we buy Bitcoin with it. That leverage gives us volatility. It gives us performance. The performance gives us volatility. The volatility attracts capital, and we can then leverage more. It's kind of intelligent because it's convertible debt. It's given our shareholders more Bitcoin per share this week than they had a few weeks ago. So it's very accretive for them. And it's pretty compelling for every investor. if you're Bitcoin curious right now and you want to buy Bitcoin at the all-time high, how do you get the upside in Bitcoin with downside protection? MicroStrategy sold 800 million in debt, and we have 13 billion dollars of Bitcoin on the balance sheet. So we're giving you an over-collateralized loan and the upside. But if you're a Bitcoin maximalist and you love Bitcoin and you want to hold it forever, the ETFs charge you 25 basis points. MicroStrategy is accreting. We're giving you a yield against your shares in a tax-efficient fashion. So the maximalists like the equity. The hedgers, they kind of like the upside with downside protection. The traders love the vol. You know, we've got 100 vol asset here, and they just like the vol. So we're unique because you can't really trade options on the ETFs. And an ETF isn't going to issue a convertible bond with upside to Bitcoin, but downside protection. Good questions. And thanks for asking me. First, with regard to Bitcoin, no, there's no doubt in my mind Bitcoin was a better investment at 17,000 than it was at 65,000. I take the Warren Buffett view on this. Bitcoin's a superior investment to gold, equity, bonds, and real estate because it's digital. You can trade it 1 million times faster than conventional assets using a computer. It's available. Most other assets only trade less than 20% of the time. Bitcoin's trading 168 hours a week. We bought $800 million of Bitcoin, and a lot of it we bought over the weekend when all the conventional markets are closed. It's global. It's the most widely recognized and trusted investment asset in the world right now. It's ethical because it's the king of all commodities. There's no issuer. There's no company. There's no country controlling it. And fundamentally, it's useful. Thousands of market makers can trade it all the time. Millions of companies can trade it. Billions of people. If you want to buy a house on Saturday in Africa, this is the way to do it. If you want to buy a car on Sunday morning, this is the way to do it. So it's a pretty great asset. It's the greatest of the assets, in my opinion. There's no second best asset. So I didn't have any question about it. We're just waiting for the rest of the world to realize how good it is.
According to Michael Saylor, BlackRock operates on a massive scale, capable of handling billions of dollars daily and incorporating them into their capital structure. Their capabilities are comparable to those of a container ship, a supertank, or even a Bitcoin. Effectively reducing by 0.25% MicroStrategies, such as air freight, have shown higher performance. What could be the reason behind this? It's fascinating how MicroStrategies managed to leverage their position by borrowing $800 million at just 62 basis points. Can you think of any company in the world that you wouldn't want to invest in after such a move? If you could secure a loan of $1 billion at an interest rate of less than 1%, you could invest it in your most promising idea. This would allow you to make smart use of leverage without any personal liability. Using unsecured funds, MicroStrategy invests in Bitcoin to take advantage of its volatility, which in turn boosts their overall performance. Performance causes fluctuations, which in turn attract capital and allow for greater leverage. It's quite intriguing. Smart because it's convertible debt, which has provided their shareholders with a higher amount of Bitcoin per share. This week, their approach has become more innovative compared to a few weeks ago. It's quite impressive and has a strong impact on everyone involved. If you're interested in Bitcoin and want to purchase it at its peak, as an investor, you may be wondering how to go about it. There is potential for growth in Bitcoin, while also ensuring protection against potential losses. MicroStrategy recently sold $800 million in debt, and it currently has a balance of $12.13. They have a significant amount of Bitcoin on their balance sheet, which allows us to offer you an over-collateralized loan with potential upside. If you have a strong affinity for Bitcoin and prefer to hold onto it indefinitely, you may find it disheartening that ETFs impose a 25 basis point fee. MicroStrategy is a strategy that offers a yield against your shares in a tax-efficient fashion. Some individuals prefer the potential gains of equity investments, while others value the protection against potential losses provided by hedging strategies. Traders also have their own unique approach to the market. Michael Saylor really appreciates the vol. MicroStrategy has a truly exceptional vol asset here that stands out from the rest. They are truly one of a kind. Trading options on ETFs is not possible, and it is highly unlikely for an ETF to offer a convertible bond that combines the potential for gains from Bitcoin with protection against losses. If you learned something from this video, then please like this video and subscribe our channel Everyday Finance, and we will meet in next video. Thanks.